All right, let's get into a really chilling folk story from the village of Veroli. It's about an ancient guardian that walks this razor-thin line between being a protector and a destroyer. This is a story about what happens when a sacred tradition is broken and a very, very old power wakes up.
So our story starts on this dark, windy night in Veroli. The streets are totally empty, and inside the village temple, something's wrong. A sacred lamp, one that had been burning for years and years in front of the guardian statue, has just flickered out. And for the people of this village, that is a terrible, terrible omen.
You see, that lamp wasn't just there for light. It was keeping watch over the village's sacred protector, this powerful entity they call Rakhandar. But Rakhandar isn't your everyday kind of god. And that flame going out, it's a sign that something ancient and powerful has just been disturbed.
So what is Rakhandar exactly? Well, here's what's so fascinating. This isn't a spirit you pray to for good fortune. Not really. The villagers live more in fear of him because they know his protection is a double-edged sword, something born from an absolutely desperate act of sacrifice a long, long time ago.
Rakhandar is the spirit of a sadhu, a holy man, who centuries ago literally turned himself into living ash to trap a demon. His very soul, his essence, is now mixed into the ash that coats the temple walls. He's a permanent, watchful presence, part savior, part warden.
Let's break down how this guardian even came to be. Ages ago, a demon was just terrorizing Veroli. People were disappearing, bodies were turning up, it was chaos. Then, a holy man named Druvnath showed up to face it. They fought for 7 straight days, and at the end of it, he performed this final, desperate ritual where he bound the demon's spirit and his own into the very walls of the temple.
Now, to keep this powerful spirit at peace, and to make sure he stayed on their side, the villagers made a sacred vow. Every single year, on a specific full moon, they had to perform a blood sacrifice. This ritual was the only thing ensuring Rakhandar remained their protector and not their tormentor. And for centuries, this vow was never broken. The village was safe. But now, that's all about to change. For the first time in memory, this ancient tradition is about to be challenged. And this is really where the story kicks into high gear, with this clash between modern ideas and ancient fear. So here's the conflict. The new village head, the Sarpanch, he's educated, he's modern, and he thinks this whole sacrifice thing is just a silly superstition. He cancels the ritual. But the temple priest is horrified. He warns him, saying Rakhandar is a bound soul. If his vow is incomplete, he will come to collect his due one way or another. Well, that very night, after the ritual is skipped, a fierce wind blows through the temple, putting out the lamps. Ash starts to fall from the walls, and then the statue of Rakhandar begins to move. The terrified priest knows exactly what this means. He whispers, Rakhandar jok chuka hai. Rakhandar has awakened.
The fallout is immediate, and it is absolutely terrifying. That same night, a man is found dead, his body completely stiff, his eyes wide with terror, and there's ash on his lips. Then all the village livestock is discovered dead, looking like they've been burned from the inside. And then people just start to disappear, as a shadowy figure is spotted haunting the village. At this point, the entire village is paralyzed with fear. That line between protector and destroyer, it's been completely erased. The very thing they worshipped to keep them safe is now hunting them, and they all know why. They broke their promise. The disappearances keep happening. 3 people vanish in just 3 nights. The terror hits its peak when the spectacle Sarpanch, the man who started all this, is found dead right in front of the temple from a heart attack. And on his face, the clear, unmistakable handprint made of ash. With no other choice, the priest rallies what's left of the village. He tells them they can't hide anymore. Their only chance is to go to the temple, face their guardian, and beg for forgiveness before there's no village left to save. So they go, and inside the temple, a shadowy figure starts to form from the ash on the walls. The air gets ice cold, and then a young boy in the crowd just collapses. When he gets up and speaks, it's not his voice. It's an ancient, booming voice that says, Mahavrat apornuretna hai, which means, my vow remains incomplete. So speaking through this boy, Rakhandar lays down a chilling ultimatum. It reminds them of the sacrifice it made to protect them. It condemns their arrogance for breaking the sacred vow.
And it demands they bring back the blood offering. The choice is pretty simple. Keep the promise, or the entire village will be wiped from the face of the earth.
The second the ultimatum is given, the spirit leaves, and the boy falls unconscious. The shadow recedes back into the walls, the bells stop ringing, and this strange, unnatural calm falls over the village. The terror has passed, but you can bet it left a permanent scar.
From that day on, you better believe the villagers never missed the annual ritual again. But in this interesting compromise between their ancient fear and their modern conscience, they changed it. Instead of a goat, they now offer a coconut, hoping that this symbolic gesture is enough to keep the ancient spirit satisfied.
But the story doesn't end on a happy, peaceful note. It ends with a warning. The legend says that if anyone in Veroli starts to forget how important that day is, the temple bells start to ring all by themselves, and a chilling whisper is heard on the wind, echoing the guardian's eternal warning. Maya vrat apurin reilaha. My vow remains incomplete. It's a haunting reminder that some promises you just can't break.